The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight. Do you know who told Rice to do it?
Well, we know where the talking
Do you
points
know who
came
told
from.
Rice to go out and mislead everybody? The AP thing isn't a scandal.
The idea that we're giving the administration the benefit of the doubt.
I'm not giving
when
anybody
Eric
the benefit
Holder,
of anything. I'm saying fact.
You're saying it's not a scandal. It is a scandal.
A wild morning with both the left and the right challenging me. We'll show you what happened and analyze the growing pressure on President Obama.
Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Analyzing the Sideshow. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. With President Obama calling the Benghazi controversy a sideshow yesterday, it is instructive to look at public opinion on the issue right now. Quoting a new Pew Research poll, 56% of Americans not really following the Benghazi story, something Talking Points put forth last week. 44% are interested. 37% believe the Obama administration has been honest about Benghazi. 40% say they've been dishonest. 23% don't know. This week, two more stories broke that cast doubt about whether the Obama administration is running the country honestly. The IRS has admitted it targeted some conservative groups for scrutiny. And the Justice Department secretly looked at the phone records of some reporters who work for the Associated Press. Today, Attorney General Holder said that decision was made by Deputy Attorney General James Cole, who is working with the FBI to find out who is leaking classified information about anti-terror operations to reporters. Now, this morning, I went on Fox and Friends and Good Morning America to promote my new book, Keep It Pithy. I found two very different situations. On GMA, my pal George Stephanopoulos is not convinced Benghazi is a big deal. I dissented. Starting with Ambassador Rice. Who told her to say it? You explain it, Mr. President.
Hasn't he done that? Isn't that exactly what he did yesterday?
No, he hasn't done it, George, unless you were on vacation. He hasn't done it, all right? He needs to do it. Who did it? Do you know who told Rice to do it?
Well, we know where the talking points came from.
Do you know who told Rice to go out and mislead everybody?
I don't think she was told to go out and mislead anybody. She was given talking points.
By
but
who?
The White House has said time and time again, we're prepared by the CIA with editing from the State Department and other investigators.
Who handed her these talking points that turned out to be bogus? Who? We need to know the name. When we find that out, the name, the Benghazi story, will begin to crystallize. But we don't know. On the other side, Miss Laura Ingraham, already convinced the AP story is big. I say, not yet. The AP thing isn't a scandal. That was
the AP feels it is.
Well, who cares what they feel? They haven't written an
It's
accurate
a
article.
scandal.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. The Justice Department went through legal terms to get the phone records. They didn't.
Well, we don't know
violate
for
that.
sure what they did exactly.
Okay, so that's not a scandal. The
I'm not
IRS,
willing. Let me just jump in here.
Wait a minute.
The idea that we're giving the administration the benefit of the doubt.
I'm not giving
when
anybody
Eric
the benefit of
Holder,
anything. I'm saying fact.
You're
Now, the reason President Obama can get away with saying all his troubles are caused by political attacks is that some on the right go way beyond established facts. In effect, they are giving him cover. The heavy odds are that the president did not directly order the IRS to pound conservative groups. If he did that, that's an impeachable offense. But evidence must come forth, and we, the press, need to investigate it, and we will. I will. Same thing with the AP. If there was an abuse of power, facts must back that up. Benghazi's different. There are facts, and they point to misleading the American public for political gain. There's no getting around Rice's testimony or the shoddy security in Libya. That story, Benghazi, that's huge. Down the road, the IRS and the AP stories might become nightmares for President Obama, but again, that has not yet been established. And that's a memo. Now for the top story night reaction. Joining us from Miami, the purveyor, BernardGoldberg.com. Mr. Goldberg. Quite a morning for me, Bernie.
Yes, it was. Let's start out with your chat with Stephanopoulos. Liberal reporters, with a few exceptions, have played down the Benghazi story. We all know that. They played it down because President Obama, their hero, wants it played down. There's a history in the liberal media of playing down stories that he wants played down and playing up stories that he wants played up. That's why during the campaign we heard so much about the war on women, because President Obama wanted that story played up. Now, it's important to point out that things have changed. And they changed when George Carl, a mainstream reporter on a broadcast network, broke the story last week about all the rewrites of the talking points to scrub any references to terrorism. That gave permission, and that's the word I want to use, that gave permission to other mainstream reporters to go after President Obama in a way they hadn't before.
All right, let me stop you just for a second. You said George Carl, who's the coach of the Denver Nuggets.
No, Jonathan
Carl, is ABC News.
Jonathan Carl.
But, you know, he took that from the Weekly Standard.
That's right. That's right. But that's also a good point. If Catherine Herridge comes up with something, and she's come up with a lot, or if Steve Hayes comes up with something, that doesn't filter into the mainstream press. That isn't permission for anything. But if one of their own comes up with it, now we can go after President Obama and act like real reporters because we now have permission. Now, let's go to your appearance on the morning show on Fox. You say that this is, well, let me agree with you first. The administration, the Justice Department, acted legally. They got a subpoena. They acted legally. President Obama involvement, no evidence of that. I totally agree with you. But you don't like the word scandal. So let me ask you a question, Bill. What word would you use if the Justice Department got a subpoena, which they kept secret, and then collected the phone records of Roger Ailes, Brett Baer, Catherine Herridge, and all the other reporters who have done fine work on national security?
I would use the phrase abuse of power if they did that. But here's the difference, and I'm of two minds on this. We know that the FBI is investigating national security classified information leaks, just like the WikiLeaks thing, very, very similar to that. And also we know the story centers around a CIA operation in Yemen, all right, that found its way into the Associated Press. And the FBI is trying to find out who leaked the classified information to the AP. Now, you can agree or disagree whether the FBI should be doing that, but it's legal to do it, and they're doing it.
Absolutely.
But here's where it gets me furious. Holder, the Attorney General, recused himself from this investigation because he himself might have leaked it. All right? So he said, well, I'm not going to do it because I might be a target of the FBI's interviews. So I'm going to give it to my deputy. So then Holder can go out there and go, I don't know anything about it. That's not true. Holder knows a lot about it. But so it's a big charade. As I said, it's we don't know anything, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out about Benghazi. We're going to find out about the IRS, and we're going to and they never find out.
No, but it's worse than that. This is what they do. They say we're going to find out about it, so we can't answer your questions now because we don't know yet. Then when you ask about it 8 months later, they say, hey, it's an old story.
Yeah, it's an old
what are you asking me about it?
It's an old story. You know, but it's, everybody knows the game now. Now, final question for you. I'm trying to convince conservative Americans who think I'm soft on Obama or I'm, you know, all of that business, that by saying the AP story is a scandal before you know anything about it hurts the cause of legitimate investigations into the Obama administration. Do you buy that?
I think you're on to a good point, but I think the AP example is not a good one because I do think that is a scandal. But the point you're making is that there are people on the left who will not acknowledge that Benghazi is a big story. And there are people on the right who, if Barack Obama came up with a cure for cancer, wouldn't give him credit for it. And by the way, I mean that literally. So we're not dealing with journalism. We're not even dealing in this day and age with honest opinion. We're dealing with raw partisanship, and that's not good for the people out there.
But it helps. It helps President Obama because he can just throw it out.
It does.
It's all political. The Fox News people, they don't like me, so whatever they say doesn't matter.
Right. The best single example, and I could do this in a half a sentence, are the birthers. These people who still think Barack Obama was born on Pluto or someplace only help Barack Obama.
All right, Bernie.
And it's true to a lesser extent in all these other examples.
Next on the rundown.